also didn't check like my camera battery, so
Put the other one
we'll
on the
just
charger
hope.
now.
I have a battery like charging
Alrighty.
always, so I'm not too worried about it. Let's see what
Yeah, I
this.
like using my Sony, but the battery never makes it through. Like, battery lasts like 30 minutes. Yours are a little
Mine
bit
lasts a
bigger,
long
right?
time because it's plugged in,
Oh
right?
my gosh, I got a notification.
I wonder who it's from.
Don't bring me down.
Okay, cool. Daniel Allen Barnes, what's up? Predator Gaming, yo, what's going on? Oh, Cosmic Culture. Wow. Wow, indeed. Hello, Mark the Stranger, Anthony. Oh, Anthony Salas, what's up, man? Ethan, Shadowmaster. What's up, Bucky? What's going on, Joe? Silas, Shadowmaster. Ethan? Ethan? So, yeah, so, uh, we'll wait till a little bit more people get in the chat. But, Chris, did you hear, did everybody hear that the intro, like the opening credits for Secret Invasion was done by AI?
Yeah. I actually didn't hear that until after I'd already made the sweeping declaration that I hated the intro, so that makes me happy. I'm anti-AI, so the fact that I naturally hated something that AI made, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I like didn't even like to be truthfully honest, I didn't really look through it cuz I was just like what is this? And I was
It's
like,
so
"You know
long
what? I
and weird
actually
and
don't care."
boring.
It's like 2 minutes long. So
It's
after
so
like
long.
45 seconds I'm like skip, like I don't even care. Like
Yeah, no.
uh-uh.
That
And
was one of the first comments I made about Secret Invasion. I'm like, I love Secret Invasion. Hated the intro.
yeah, the it was interesting. And what's funny is like I actually remember saying when I watched it when I got the screener for the first time, I was like, this looks like it was like made by AI because I've seen like I've done a few sponsors for AI and
Hmm.
like I'll try to do
And
it.
that's
And
got
like
the
they
weird.
work most of the time if you get like the premium ones, but if you do like the free ones, they like always screw it up a little bit. And there was like
Like
the
morphs
picture of
everything.
Nick Fury and he's like half scroll but like barely half scroll and I'm like that looks like it's like an AI messed up doing it and then they come out and they're like yeah they used AI for it and I'm like ah
Yeah,
and I
that's
know
that was very obvious.
yeah and I know a lot of people talk about like who cares and it doesn't have anything to do with like quality or anything like that it has to do with like the whole VFX people already complaining right but like at the
Yeah, that they
same
have too much to do.
right, they have too much to do. So at the same time, it's kind of like, well, Marvel Studios used the AI to do it, but then you know the VFX people are like, well, we would have rather got paid to do that, and that's stuff that really don't dive into too much. You know, we try to just keep it on like the content and things that like affect
Yeah, the
the
actual
stuff,
show
right?
stuff.
Yeah, yeah. But like go ahead in the chat right away. What did everybody think um, uh, of the first episode? What are our thoughts? Did everybody like it? I have like so much going on, so if you all see me like looking everywhere, I've got a bunch of
No,
screens
I'm
and
doing the
stuff
same thing. I
going
got
going
two
on.
screens here, a
Right.
laptop down here,
Yeah,
my phone's over here.
I've got the chat like down here. Uh this is a spoiler talk. Did I put that in like the thumbnail or the title? Let me see.
I think you put it in the title, didn't you?
Spoiler talk.
Spoiler.
Secret Invasion spoiler talk.
Yeah,
So if you are here, you've been warned.
Mr. Bob.
We're just gonna go ahead. I'm gonna give you like 5 seconds, and we're gonna talk about spoilers. 3, 4, 5. Maria Hill, is she dead or not? We're just gonna go into it.
Yes.
You think she's really
Yes.
dead? Really?
Yes. Yes.
I, I, I. It's so weird because you're in a show where it's, and I mentioned this in my breakdown. You're like, she's literally like somebody has literally been disguised as her before. Like a scroll has literally been
Yeah,
her
but she didn't
before.
turn into a scroll.
So, but that's the thing, and I've seen episode 2, right?
Yeah.
Right. So we won't spoil that. Um, but it's so hard to say because like this is like kind of like a mystery show where you never know. but I do think she's dead, and I think it was done for a very specific reason. I think that's how you like set the stakes. Like this guy means business, Graphic means business. He blew up that town square and he kills. I think they say in like the next episode he killed like 2,000 people, something like that. Like it's like in the thousands. It's in the
Yeah.
thousands.
Yeah, no, that's I don't. Yeah,
Right. So it's like
neither confirm or deny.
yeah. Well, they say that, and then they say, well, they say that, and then he kills Maria Hill. So it's
But
like
well, I think one of the biggest, not one of the biggest, but definitely a high up there complaint for Marvel over the years has been like, oh, there's never stakes. Somebody dies and they come back.
right. Exactly.
They tease deaths and
Mhm.
nobody dies. Like even with as emotional as Guardians of the Galaxy was, like nobody died. So like I feel like they're giving us what
Not
we want, and
true.
everybody's like, no, she can't be dead.
Yeah, she can definitely be dead, especially if like if they're trying like I keep asking myself is is this the end of Fury as well? Does he die at the end of this, right? And we've only seen 2 episodes. So I have no idea how it ends. But I keep asking myself this does feel like the end of an era a little bit, especially if we're going in like if Phase 7 is going to be all about the mutants and the Fantastic Four. Are they going? Are they kind of like moving away from the past, which is the original Avengers, and then getting rid of Fury and Hill and like, how does it end? Does it end with Fury dying or retiring because somebody else is coming in? Like Fury, it's not going to
Well,
be
right.
Fury handling the Avengers and the X-Men and the Fantastic Four, the new superhero team. That's not what it's going to be, right? So,
Yeah.
and maybe it's Talos.
No, I
Maybe
don't.
Talos is the one who steps in and does it, but maybe Peter Parker is the one who steps in and does it when
I
he
think
grows up.
I think we're trying to get, some real stakes, some real consequences. Fury's obviously made, just from what's been hinted, even in the first episode, a lot of mistakes and let a lot of people down, and now he has to live with the consequence. So
Right, right, right.
that's on him, right? And he needs to feel that pain just to become whatever it is he needs to become or to finish his story. Whether that's he dies, retires, or whatever. But I do think we're phasing out of it. Like he's done
Exactly.
his time.
Exactly. But that's why I do believe that Maria Hill is man. I'm really like on the fence about it. I think I'm leaning a little bit more towards Hill is dead. But even I
Unlike
mentioned
the
in my
poster
breakdown,
child for Hill is dead.
right? Yeah, but I mean, Coulson died in Avengers and got brought back, right? So I think they killed her, but if they ever needed to bring her back, they could. Um,
Well, that's always the case, right?
well, and that's like the classic comic. Like Kamala Khan, Miss Marvel died in the comics recently, and they've already said though, like, oh yeah, she's coming back. They're literally. This was something cool. Side story for a second. We've always seen the comics affect the movies, but this is the first time like a show, Miss Marvel, has affected the comics because she's a mutant in the MCU, and now they killed her in the comics because she's a Inhuman, and now they are bringing her back as an actual mutant, which is interesting. We've never seen the MCU actually affect comics like that before, be retcon. But anyways, people come back all the time, but I do think they're moving away. And like you said, whether Fury dies or whether he just kind of retires or does whatever, I think they are moving away and jumping into a new MCU with fresh new characters. I think we're going to see a lot of that in Phase 5 and Phase 6, and then especially in Phase 7. So I think they wanted to kill her to one, start to move on from these characters. And I'm sure she's okay moving on as well because she's done it forever now since the first Avengers film. And then two, to show that the stakes are really high. Like this is a villain who doesn't care. He'll kill them. I see a lot of people asking me which is better, Proxima Centauri and a few other people I saw, like which is better, episode 1 or 2.
Kind of merged together in my head, to be honest. When you watch them back to back.
I think there's more action in the first one. I don't expect this show to be very action packed though. Like it's an
Action-packed, yeah.
espionage thriller to me, right? I like the mystery,
Yeah.
right? I like the whole.
There's a lot of mystery in this.
I like the searching of the evidence, right? For evidence and stuff like that. Like I really like it. I'm not expecting too much action, but there's a lot of backstory given in the second one. I'm trying to remember it really.
I know that's why I was like they kind of merged together because
Yeah, I
I
watched
watched
it
them back
like
to back.
2 weeks
We're
ago.
we're watching it last night, and I'm like, I didn't say it. I was like, I don't remember if Marie actually dies in this one or the second one. Like, I couldn't remember.
Yeah.
But no, the second one has a lot of like what just happened moments. I think.
Yeah. I see some people saying in the chat they haven't watched it yet. Guys, spoiler talk. It's in the title. This is a spoiler talk. um, yeah, sorry. If we're spoiling some
Somebody
stuff.
on my side brought up a good point that I think we'll definitely get to. So, wasn't Fury in the Marvels trailer? Yes.
Oh, yeah.
What does that mean? You know, was that
I
before? Was that after?
well, I think it could very well be before. I
He does
actually
have like eye patch and his no beard.
does he have an eye patch in it? I don't remember.
Eye patch, no beard in the. He looks like he normally does in the Marvels trailer.
Maybe it's a
So
scroll.
I don't know if that's like after Secret Invasion and he goes back to being normal Nick Fury. Maybe a Skrull takes Nick
That's what I
Fury's
was saying.
place.
Maybe it's a scroll.
That's not a bad point either. Like,
Um, maybe I mean there is definitely the possibility that he could finish out the saga,
hmm
right? But I do think in the next saga we move away from the some of the OG characters like Nick Fury.
I don't think we move away from like the Avengers as a whole, to be completely honest.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I think it becomes all about the X-Men and the Fantastic Four, and then the rebuilding of the Avengers team eventually, like like a next phase after that or something. Few phases later.
Yeah.
Next saga after that. Many phases later, but the next saga. Um, I, it says present day when the episode starts, and
hmm
during the press conference, it was kind of like alluded at, but basically it is now. It takes place in time, but they kind of also alluded that like the order of the release is the order that they're in. So yeah, maybe the Marvels is right after all these events happen, and maybe this kicks Fury into gear and is like, I'm back, baby. Like,
It's also just as possible that the beginning of the Marvels was 4 years before, just like this one started
that's what I
in the
was gonna
past
say
and then
too.
caught out,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, like it's very possible that there's time jumps.
Because there's still a lot that I think Fury, that I would assume Fury needs to explain about what's going on with, Saber or Sword or whatever they've end up calling it now. And like that would be like, what's he been doing up there the whole time, or has he only been hiding? Has he actually been doing something that needs to be explained? Because I feel like that would fall to him to explain.
Right, exactly. Well, and Rhodey and the president, who's our guy. Did you notice that? The president's played by
Yeah, 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 yeah.
crap, I can't
Absolutely.
remember. Absolutely. That's the move. They he's building like the most advanced I don't remember the actual phrase that he said, but the most advanced, complicated aerodynamic weapon defense system like ever. And let's talk about like Rhodey. Like
This needs to be
I
discussed.
I think
He's
I
gotta
think
be.
he might be a scroll because he's like,
I think he has to be.
and no spoilers, but even more in episode 2, I feel I'm like, you're a scroll. But like when I watched this, I was like, what? I'm like, bro, you just ratted out Nick Fury. Like, you know how long you
Well,
fought beside Nick Fury to just rat him out like that?
I think it's kind of like, okay, let's play how do you detect a scroll? Like, what does a scroll have to gain from a certain character doing this action? Like, not to mention your point, like, these are blood brothers. These are
Right,
people who have
right.
been through it and back. And the first thing he's going to do before he even, like, calls or tries to contact Nick Fury, like, what would the character actually do? He would try to contact Nick Fury. He'd find a way. He'd get his suit on. He'd fly
Right,
out to
he'd
Moscow.
go
He'd
right,
figure it
he
out.
would go try
Right.
and
The
see him.
first thing Rhodey is doing is not running to the president and
Right.
tattletaling.
That's
Like,
and that's what
that's
I
100%
that's
a
how I
scroll for
saw
me.
it. That's how I saw it. I was like, the dude's literally like a tattletale. He's like ratting them out. I'm like, what are you trying to get brownie points for the president, man? Like you're already up there,
Yeah.
right? You're
Yeah, there's no
freaking
way.
war
There's
machine.
no way.
Yeah, I'm just sitting there like either that or like I don't know, I just can't see it to where it's like especially after everything they've been through, Rhodey's just sitting there like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be this big political guy, and I'm Mister,
Yeah, no way.
America now, and I'm gonna, I stick to the rule book no matter what. It's like,
And And then I would just say part two of that same, how do you detect the scrolls? Like, what do they have to gain from this character doing something out of their character? Like, oh, let's get Nick Fury and Maria Hill on the most wanted list and make them not have American resources. And like,
Right.
there's everything for the Skrull to gain from that. So not only is this out of his character, but Skrull are getting big points from this happening. It's
Right.
almost too obvious.
No, and that's the only reason why I question, like, well, is he? Because it is pretty obvious. I mean, the Skrull do have a lot to gain, and the whole premise of the monologue in the beginning by Agent Prescott was like, he specifically says, like, what if the people you thought you could trust, the people closest to you, the ones you loved, you couldn't trust? What if they were actually not from this world? What if they were aliens? And it's just kind of like, that is setting it up. That's actually a part I love about the show, is that you really don't know, right? We think Rhodey's a Skrull, but do we know? No. But, you know, maybe
Is the
after Civil
president a Skrull?
War, I mean, probably. If he
So are they two Skrulls?
if Rhodey's a Skrull, then I would imagine that they would take out the president and put their own in that spot so they
So
can do what they want.
there is an interesting point here, though. And I think Amelia Clark's character explained this in the first one. Like, they don't even all know. Like, it's possible, I think. I don't really know how it works, but they could both be Skrull and be so good at being human that neither of them know.
Right, neither of them know. Yeah, and they do mention that in this episode. Yeah, they're like, you have to stick to your shell. Like, you
Yeah.
can't go in your Skrull form. Don't change forms. Stick to your specific shell. That way it's a lot harder for humans to track. But in that instance, it's also harder for the Skrull to track as well, especially if you're not very
Right.
well connected. Yeah.
So that's also a possibility. I feel like maybe everybody would know if the president was a Skrull. Like, the Skrulls would maybe know that one. But there are specific roles where it's like,
Yeah, right. Yeah, and I think we're gonna see. I think that's the big threat of the Skrull. I think that's the secret invasion threat. I think we're gonna see a lot of people in power are gonna be Skrull, and I'm actually thinking, like, what if an Avenger does come in, and what if they're a Skrull, right? Like, I think that would make a pretty interesting story. Like, I don't want
like,
them to negate anything that's happened, right? Like, I don't want, like, anybody from Avengers Endgame who, like, fought in the battle, anyone important at least, to be a Skrull, right? Like, maybe
that'd
you
be
can
lame.
like, I know there was Asgardians, right? So maybe it's like, oh, like, one of the Asgardians was actually a Skrull or something like that, right? One of the Wakandans was Skrull or something like that. But like Thor being a Skrull, like, don't do that. Like, like,
Yeah, that would
we
be-
can't. Yeah, that would be a slap in the face. Like, we can't have Thor be a Skrull. But I would like for one of them to show up and maybe be like, I heard you needed help. And then it's like, well, how did you hear I needed help? Nobody. I didn't reach out to you. Nobody reached out to you. And then it's like, oh, it's a Skrull. And then, yeah, right, exactly. So, like, we see Nick Fury, like, shoot Thor or something like that, right? But, of course, it's, you know, really wouldn't be them. But there is
Should we
that
talk
question.
about- okay.
What? No, go ahead.
No, you go ahead because I'm irrelevant.
I was just going to say, but there is a question, and they established this in the very beginning. Like, Everett Ross was a Skrull. So, where's the real one? We think he's in Wakanda based off of Wakanda Forever, but was that the Skrull? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
He been captured and they did the mind sucking thing.
exactly. We have zero idea, which is what I love about the show. Actually, it's
Part
just
of the mystery. Yeah.
it's so mysterious, and I love it. That's like the biggest thing. for
Namor
me,
was a Skrull.
right. So
Yeah, it's definitely going to raise a lot of questions, and it's going to give them an opportunity to, in kind of a cheating way, maybe change a bit of the rules about what might have happened in the past that they maybe were cemented to, and open them up to some freedoms moving forward for writing.
yeah, there definitely is a lot of potential that could come out of this. Like, it doesn't make it like limitless, but like there is a lot of freedom now to
Oh, a lot of
kind
freedoms.
to
because-
take this. Yeah, exactly. Actually, Marvel right now, the MCU in general right now is in a position to where they actually
They do
do
whatever they
have
want.
a ton of freedom with the multiverse and scroll, like, you know, like, it's just like, okay, spoilers again. If you just joined, this is spoiler talk, so click away, like, literally right now, like, click away. But like,
Swipe.
that's why it makes like Maria Hill could have very well been a Skrull. Like, she might not be dead. They can do anything they want, and they could actually retcon it too. She could come back in Captain Marvel, and they're gonna be like, wait, didn't she die? They're like, nah, that was actually a Skrull. Like, you know what I mean? Some people might consider that kind of cheap,
Oh, I would, but
But
that's okay.
I also don't like ah man. It's really like I love Robin, right, from How I Met Your Mother. Like I love Kobe Smulders and I love Maria Hill's character. So I don't want her to die. But like if she really is dead, if they did that, I actually think it's pretty brilliant. Like it's a great
How many
way.
times? How many times can we have the smoke and mirrors effect though, where it's like, oh, they're dead. Oh no, they're not. Oh, they're dead. Oh no, they're not. Like,
Right, right.
it's a pretty common move with Marvel at this point. So it's time to mix it up. You know what? They're dead.
Well,
Sorry.
and it's actually very common with like Nick Fury because that's what happened in Winter
It's
Soldier.
like his thing.
Right. But is it Maria Hill's thing? Right? Like is she the one that can do it too since she's like his best bud? But
You know what? You know what? Maria Hill's Mephisto confirmed.
boom, done. You heard it here first, folks. Maria Hill is
You heard it here
Mephisto.
first.
She's
Before
not
anybody else
dead.
started it.
She's in the Hell Realm right now. She's gonna come back in the Ironheart series, which also involves a link with Rhodey and all of the stuff there. Maria Hill's Mephisto confirmed. Called it. Nailed it right here. Boom. Oh, I was gonna say something though. I don't know,
But while
but
you're thinking, I just want to talk about the greatest line from the first episode.
oh wait, hold on. Let me guess what you're gonna say. Give me a hint. Where's it at in the episode?
Middle.
Oh gosh.
It's
No one cares
Talos
about your
and-
shitty
and-
art.
No, but that was a good
That
one.
was
too.
pretty
Right
good.
before that.
Right before that? I
Right
don't know.
before that, when
Go,
it's,
go. You tell me.
what did you get for yours?
Ah,
The Avengers.
there you go. Yeah. What did you get for
That's
your?
such a
Yeah,
good Nick
that's
Fury
that's
line.
a great line. I'm not even 40
What did you
in
get?
my. I'm not even 40.
I haven't even
in
gone through
human
my
years.
middle-age crisis years.
What did you get for your?
What did you get? The Avengers.
Avengers.
Ah, that's
Ah,
such a good line.
That's a great line right there. That's just good writing.
That's just
That
probably a robot wrote it.
You know what? I hear that Sam Jackson didn't even act. He's just AI. You know.
He's a scroll.
I'm kidding. By the way, let's not have that. Let's not have that get out there. Kidding, obviously,
No.
Sam. I actually met Sam Jackson. I was waiting to interview Kingsley Benadir. Wait, can you hear me still?
Yeah.
Okay, my headset's like dying. I just plugged it in. I was waiting to interview Kingsley Benadir, who plays Gravik, and Sam Jackson walked down the hall. I was like, holy crap. That's Sam Jackson. And I just kind of got up and I was just like, hey, Sam, big fan. Really looking forward to this one. And he was like, oh, hey, man, thanks, man. He's like, I'll talk to you in just a bit. And I was like, oh, no, I won't be interviewing you
did he?
today, but hey, have a good day. I was like, wait, can I slide in? Can I get
Can
in
you
there?
make that
Can I
happen?
interview you? Like, and then Amelia Clark came down the hallway. Actually, so Ben Mendelsohn came first, Talos. And I didn't really say anything to him because he was talking, so I wasn't about to like interrupt him. And I have to be professional, of course. And like Disney employees and Marvel employees are like everywhere around. So I just kind of like gave him a smile, a little nod. Then Sam Jackson came. He wasn't really talking, so I just said hi. And then Amelia Clark came. I basically said the same thing. Hey, big fan, really excited to see this, to see you in this one. She's like, oh, thank you so much. She kept walking, and that was pretty much it. And then I did the director interview and Gravik interview. Everybody's just super nice when they do that, but Sam Jackson he's like, as he walks down the hall, you're just like, that's Sam Jackson. He's got so much swagger, it's crazy. Just being him, like it's crazy. Just the way he talks and everything. And I love how we got some of that in this show. Like, I don't remember the word, and I guess I probably shouldn't say the word, but he's like, Maria Hill's like, you can't say that. He's like, you can't say that. I don't remember the word, but
I do.
well, we'll hold off.
For sure. Later.
Yeah. But that's like that just feels like Sam Jackson talking. You know what I mean? I think I've like
absolutely.
fused Sam Jackson and Nick Fury together, in all honesty.
I mean, it's one of those Robert Downey Jr.
Right, exactly.
I mean, that's just what has happened, and that's something that I'm hoping, as we're seeing Marvel take a couple steps backwards and rebuild and re-appreciate everything. Like, that's what we're really missing, is name a character from the original Infinity Saga that hadn't become the actor, or vice versa. I don't feel like we're getting that quite as much And that's a big part of
Now?
it, is that emotional
Yeah.
connection. Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think with a lot of the new characters, like Namor's great, right? Or, pick a character, but I'm not sitting
Mm,
there like, wow, this is that person personified in real life.
yeah, I'm trying
But
to
like
think.
Chris Hemsworth, yes. Chris Evans, yes. Robert Downey Jr., yes. Scarlett Johansson, yes. Nick Fury, like they have become the personification of this character in the real world. And I don't feel like we've gotten that in this phase just yet. We're still early days, and I appreciate that. But where is that fusing of the real world and the MCU that just makes it that much more real?
Hmm. Maybe I don't know if she counts. Elizabeth Olsen, because she's kind of from, I mean, since Age of Ultron, so she's kind of an OG.
Yeah, she's
Not like
older.
an
I'd say the
OG
closest
OG.
we've honestly gotten is with Iman,
Oh yeah,
who's amazing,
yeah.
but she still has only had a little Disney Plus show. So I think in the Marvels, to be completely honest, she's going to carry it, and I think she's
I
going to
actually think
really
so
step
too.
up.
I actually
I
think
think
so
she's going to
too.
step up and become one of the faces of new Marvel.
Yeah, I think I I agree because I met her in person. I'm trying to think where I met her. Guardians of the Galaxy 3 premiere. It was after I met her, and she was like looking at me, and it was really funny. So I just like went up to her, and she's like, "Are you Warren?" I was like, "Yeah." So she watches the channel. She's a huge pop culture fan. So I know she watches me, Real Rejects. I know she watches New Rockstars. And she is like the nicest person ever. And she literally is just like she is Miss Marvel. She really is.
Hmm.
And I liked her show. I think the writing got a little bit sloppy at the end, but she was great herself. And I do agree. I think she is going to carry the Marvels. I think she's going to be
Yeah,
probably the most likable part of it. And
yeah,
I
I would
like Brie
agree.
Larson. I like Brie Larson, and I actually think
It's
some of the
more of a
action that
testament
we've
to
seen looks really good. But yeah, no, you're about to say it's a testament towards Kamala Khan,
to
Amon
to
Vaughn.
Amon more
Yeah.
than less to them, right? It's more
No,
like
exactly.
this. She's got this, and
Just really
and
like
that's
her.
something I truthfully don't think we've seen too much. Like I like Jonathan Majors as Kang, but I don't look at him and go, "Wow, that's Kang." He's a good Kang. He plays a good Kang,
I think he's
but there's
fantastic.
still something. Oh, I think he's great, but
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. And I'll say it. Maybe it's the race swapping that makes it hard for me to like put that together. Maybe it's not. I don't really know. But I do feel like there's elements that are missing for some of the casting, and now we're hearing about some of this crazy Fantastic Four casting and all these other things. It's just like I don't know. I really hope that they can buckle down and get us some of that original Avengers world connections.
Right. Yeah.
Not related to Secret Invasion at all, but something I do believe.
The Chicken Nugget Boy, Gravik does look awesome. He's really cool, and
Oh yeah.
Kingsley Benadir is really cool. It was really cool to talk to him. Well, and I think it was Grace Randolph who said this in a tweet where she was like, they're casting these big name actors. What happened to casting like not so known actors and like Marvel Cinematic Universe making their careers, right? It's
Right.
like
And that's where that fusion
we
is.
haven't had that yet with the new phase since Endgame. I like here. Hold on. Let's. I'm gonna go through Marvel Phase 4 here. Let's take a look. See. So Marvel Phase 4. I mean, and it's different because like, okay, Black Widow. We already had Black Widow, Falcon and the Winter Soldier. We already had them.
There's still some bleeding over, right?
Right, right. Simu Liu kind of a Shang-Chi. I mostly think of Kim's Convenience when I hear Simu
Well, that's the
Liu.
problem, right?
Right, yeah. He was kind of known before. It wasn't huge. WandaVision, Loki, out Loki, but he's an OG, right? Like when I see Tom
He's
Hiddleston,
old,
I think
right?
he's Loki, right? Old.
Mm-hmm.
Doctor Strange, old. I make my
Mm-hmm.
argument for Elizabeth Olsen, but she's still kind of an OG.
He's still pre-Endgame.
And then you have Kate Bishop.
She was pretty good, but
But
again, I think the impact of the Disney Plus series, you don't really have the opportunity to see that like you would in a movie, and that's
well,
the same with Miss Marvel. When she gets into her
right.
movie, that's really going to shine, and I think Kate Bishop is one that's there that could shine if they get her in the right role and the right story. But I don't really even see where she fits. That's that exciting. I mean, Hawkeye was kind of
But
laughed
even
after the whole thing.
that, she's a singer, an actress. Like she was already
No,
pretty big
she's pretty
before.
famous. Yeah.
Right, exactly. She was pretty famous before, so it's not like she was Kate Bishop and then her career exploded, right? So then Thor: Love and Thunder, we got Thor. And then What If? Nothing there.
Moon
Eternals.
Knight. Somebody in your chat said Moon Knight. I give that.
Well,
But
I
Oscar
mean,
Isaac was
Star
pretty
Wars
famous.
and like yeah, that's what I mean. He was pretty famous. Don't get me wrong.
Like the casting is good, but there's that
I
element of
I do that would probably I think that would be the closest for Phase 4 actually. That's a
Miss
good
Marvel.
one. Yeah, other than Miss Marvel, which those aren't listed on here because this was like the first revealed Phase 4.
Oh, before we
Not
knew it
what
was coming. Oh,
actually.
gosh.
No, this was like what they revealed at first, not what was actually because they were they would end up putting She-Hulk was yeah, I'm not seeing anything.
I mean, even like
else.
Gore. Like I feel like the fact that Gore was Christian Bale took away from the character. I loved it. I think he did a really good job. But I look at it and I see Christian Bale smile. And what hasn't Christian Bale done?
And it's I think we have such the problem is like literally Phase 1 through 3 did make careers for people. Like Tom Holland is Spider-Man, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Another
he's
perfect
done
example.
Uncharted and he's done all of this other stuff too. But
that was after.
But when you hear Tom Holland, you go Spider-Man.
Oh, Spider-Man.
When you hear Robert Downey Jr., you go Iron Man. Right? When I hear Haley Steinfeld, I'm like, okay, Starving,
Oh, she
Pitch
was in
Perfect,
Bumblebee.
Transformers, right? Exactly. And then Kate Bishop. I feel like that's almost an afterthought, and that's like
a problem.
It's not a problem. Well, what I was gonna say is I'm not like knocking her as Kate Bishop. I think she's just done some excellent things before.
She brought too much baggage to the MCU. Not baggage in a bad way, just like
not baggage, yeah. Because I actually do think she makes a pretty dang perfect Kate Bishop, but it isn't like I see Haley Steinfeld just as Kate Bishop. Oscar Isaac is pretty close, I would say. Oscar Isaac was pretty close.
Oscar Isaac's a really good Moon Knight, and I loved Moon Knight. And I'm kind of piecing this together while I'm talking about it. I hadn't actually thought about this previously. It just kind of came up in the conversation. I'm like, this is kind of a little bit of a trend. We're not really making, and now we got Adam Driver, Margot Robbie, Vanessa Kirby, like all of these super famous people. Like, I don't care how good Margot Robbie does as Sue Storm. Still, nobody's gonna look at her and go, "Oh yeah, that's Sue Storm." Like she's been so many things in the last 5 years. Same with Adam Driver. He's been in tons of movies. He was Kylo Ren. Like,
well, that's the part. That's the problem with. It's when people have played iconic roles like Adam Driver, Kylo Ren, Margot Robbie,
like
Harley
that's not
Quinn.
going away.
Right, and that's gonna be an issue for some people when watching. If they are Sue Storm and Reed Richards, that's gonna be the problem when people are watching. They're just gonna go, all I see is Harley Quinn. All I see is Kylo Ren. And, but we'll see.
Ren and Quinn.
Yeah,
just
right.
change the Fantastic Four names to Ren and Quinn.
Ren and Quinn.
Ridiculous.
Ren is my nephew's name. And I call him Kylo. Thank you, Safi. Safi? Safi.
Just unrelated
Thank you very
food
much.
for thought, I think. It kind of just popped up in my head.
Who was the guy playing
There's
Namor again?
something there.
Pizzoco. Tenaku Huerta.
Tenaku Huerta.
And I know I look white, but
They
I am
call
part
me
Mexican.
And I know I'm white, but I am fluent in Spanish.
See.
Claro que sí.
See what I did there? It's a what is it called when a word has two meanings?
Double entendre.
Double entendre. Sure, that's what we'll go with. Me and Chris both have
foreshadowing.
degrees. We're smart.
I'm foreshadowing. It's a double entendre. Why would you say that?
Why would you say that? Gosh, that's a great movie. That's a great movie. Yeah, but
all right, Secret Invasion.
yeah, Fury is Samuel L. Jackson is Fury, and
and he will be missed.
that is
There will be a void.
Yeah, that is interesting because the Marvel's trailer. I gotta look it up. I gotta look it up now. YouTube.
Yeah, no, he's like straight up looking. He's walking without a limp. He's like skinnier. He looks younger. But it's definitely within the last 5 years because it's post.
Oh, it's coming out of my speakers. Oh yeah, no, he's got a.
Yeah, he looks like
Yeah, he's got a.
he's real young. He almost looks like confusingly okay. Like, what is going on here?
Yeah, so like here, hold on, let me.
Like, even if this is before Secret Invasion, like, why does he look this good?
Right. Like
So it almost has to be after, and he got his crap together. Bandor is a Skrull.
I feel like he's missing marks on top of his eye here, which is interesting. Yeah,
He's better.
clean shaved,
Yep.
eye
Skinnier,
patch back
like,
on.
walking straight.
Yeah. So I'm gonna say he gets his crap together at some time. I think actually spoilers, guys.
We're adding spoilers
I gotta
just
add,
for you.
I gotta say spoilers again. You clicked on a
Deputy
spoiler talk.
1024. Deputy 1024 says, I haven't seen the episode yet. There's no spoilers, right?
Oh, wow, deputy! I don't see you in my chat. Rude.
Iron Man comes back.
Rude. Okay, but spoilers, guys, because you know it's a spoiler chat. I think the death of Hill is going to bring out kind of the old Fury. I think he's gonna.
Fire.
I think he's gonna sit there and be remorseful for a bit and maybe a little bit sorry for himself, and then maybe get a pep talk from Talos or something like that. And because if you watch, like, as I was I think I watched it like 4 times because, you know, my breakdown and stuff like that, and I watched it a couple of times for my interview to prep for that. And I noticed, like, at the end when they're running through and he's like chasing Gravik, he doesn't move the same. Like, he's very timid, right? And he's like afraid to take the shot. What's the it's like the Bond movie when he comes back and they're like trying to get him to pass the test, and then
and he's got like the yips.
Right, and he's like afraid to shoot, right? And so the guy puts like something on the girl's head and he's like, shoot it off her, and he can't, right? Because he's like not the same Bond. I almost feel like it's that, which is great because they're both like spy thriller, you know, characters. But I think something's gonna happen, and this death here is gonna kick him into gear, so he can be the old Nick Fury. Because I think, like, what's gonna haunt him is the talk that she had with him right before, where she's like, check your footing, right? You need to go back. Like, you're not the same. You're always 3 steps ahead. You haven't even decided yet. You're not ready for this. I'm your friend. And I think that's going to kind of haunt him and bring it back out of him. Yeah.
Well, just wait until Gravik turns into her. Just to mess with his brain, right?
Right, exactly. Oh, gosh. That's a great point. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah.
That's coming up soon, right? That's going to be one of the big showdowns, and he's going to be changing into her and saying stuff, and it's going to be terrible for Nick.
AJ, wait, who died? Oh, no. You clicked on a spoiler discussion. You can get in the Discord if you want to. Are you off work? Are you home? So, yeah. I don't know why, but there's like one comment that's pinned to the bottom, unless this person keeps.
Yeah, I don't know how to. I accidentally did that the other day too, and I didn't know how to stop it.
Yeah. Did you already discuss the scene between Agent Fury and Talos discussing the wife's death? We can discuss that. I did talk about it in my breakdown yesterday. Is that AJ? It's AJ. Hello, AJ. Hello.
Hello? Did Iron Man die?
Yeah, Iron Man died in Avengers Endgame. Yes. Is that sad? Yeah, I know.
Yeah. I haven't seen the episode yet, but I'm very excited.
Okay, well, we are talking about all the spoilers, so get out of here.
Actively
talking about. Give it to me.
We're actually about to wrap up the stream. So jump in the other Discord. We'll talk to you after.
Okay, sounds good. Bye.
We're like,
just so we could have the better screen back. Yeah. I was like, oh, you actually did it. That scene, I love to, and I think I did this more in my breakdown for this series, this episode. I think that's why It's like 30 something minutes. Is so a lot of people don't know this. I went to I went to graduate school. I almost texted you too. I was almost like, Chris, I'm just gonna heads up. Like, it's over 30 minutes long. I just kept talking.
I got the email and I was like,
yeah.
graduate school.
Oh, I went to graduate school for psychology. So I really like diving into like emotions. So when Fury reunites with Talos, and by the way, hasn't he always been called Talos? Why are they calling him Talos now? That's a different,
I had the same
that's
thought.
a
And I'm
different
like,
discussion.
he was never
Yeah.
Talos. He was definitely Talos.
And even the one guy
His
was
name
like,
was a Skrull.
right. And even the one guy's like, your name's not Keller or Kellen, whatever the fake name was. It is Talos. I'm like, he said Talos right there. Anyways, I digress.
Yeah.
You know, when they greet each other by touching their heads, like it's very intimate. I really like that. But clearly his wife, Soren, loved Fury. He says that. And I think that also hits him really, really hard too, because it's kind of like that's Nick Fury's fault. And and at first when he said like I'm sorry, I thought he was saying I'm sorry to him because he didn't find him like a new planet yet. But no, he was saying I'm sorry for your wife. And and Talos says so am I.
His response. But then even after that, it's like, but let's talk about you for a minute. Like straight to business.
He's like, tell me about
and
Gravik.
we know Talos loved his wife. He's like, but we got stuff to do. Like, yeah, super sad, but
right.
You know.
Well,
so.
Fury's been gone for such a long time. I think Talos, whatever, has had had some time to cope with that. Although since Gaia didn't know, I'm assuming it's pretty fresh actually. What? Did AJ saying stuff again? Yeah.
From what I gathered about the series, after the first episode, it's all down.
Oh no! Oh AJ! Oh Deputy 1024! Wow!
All downhill from here, boys.
He
Too
did
soon.
it too soon. It's not even been 24 hours. Has it even been 12 hours? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Not even 24 hours. All downhill. Oof.
Wait, I have to.
Oof. Burr, 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 burr.
No, I can't do it. That
You can't do it?
I don't care.
Ah, dang it.
I can, just not easily. I have to do
Yeah, you
this,
have to, like,
then I have
do
to do
all
this, and then downhill.
Oh, there you go. Everyone else. Did Gaia essentially lie to Talos about the final scene? No, this is what the final thing I'll say before we wrap it up here. I appreciate everybody joining us today. It's been a while since we've done the lives. I love it. My setup was kind of messy
I
today.
like the sun's still shining.
Yeah, right. My setup was kind of messy today, so I'm looking at the chat on my phone. So I apologize if I, haven't said hi to everybody and stuff like that. I'll get it better next time. But I don't think Gravik trusts Gaia at all. I actually think he's using her to relay information as a trap. I think he knows like this is Talos's daughter, and Talos is gonna meet with her and try to get her back, especially after it sounds like maybe not him personally, but definitely his plans killed her mother. He's smart. He's a smart villain. He's definitely gonna be like, yeah, she's gonna go back, but I'm gonna try to keep her close to me and tell her things. And she's going to in turn tell them, which is going to just be a trap. So I think that ending was a trap by Gravik. And they even say it like, these are decoys. They're not real. He used Gaia. I don't think Gaia did that. I think Gaia is legitimately trying to be on the side of her father. I think she's...
But at the same time, she could have done it.
Yeah, but I actually really don't think so. I think she's caught in the middle, but the death of her mom has made her sway back to kind of the side of her dad, and I think Gravik is using her, and I think it was a trap, and she was a pawn in setting up that trap for Gravik. I also love I just want to talk about how, like the bad guy monologue that always gets them killed and like foils their plans when they try to talk to the hero. I love
Gravik
how
don't talk so much.
Gravik just turned and was like, boop, like not even like holding it up for like a little bit. He literally was just like, boop, boom, thousands
He's definitely
dead.
a man of action.
Yeah,
Definitely a man of action.
It's so good to see because it's so practical, right?
There are a lot of refreshing things for the MCU and as a whole in just that first episode.
Yeah.
New direction, and I like it.
Yeah, and in my spoiler-free review, which is not this, spoilers, all the spoilers. Why am I streaming at 720p? Am I? No, I don't know. It was all the normal
'Cause
settings that
he clicked stream, and that's what happened.
it was all the normal settings that I used to have.
Guys, you're lucky he turned his camera on.
That's true. I had a problem turning my camera on. Next time we'll try to be better. Sorry. Thanks, proud pleb, for calling me out. But yeah, no, I like a serious villain who is just like literally just about
Confident,
killing.
capable.
Like, I'm a villain. I'm gonna do what I want. Like, it's like I always think of like Austin Powers, like the third one with Seth Green. I think, yeah, Seth Green. And he's, Dr. Evil's like, all right, close the door, leave him in the pit with, the sharks with the laser beams. And he's like, what? You're not going to kill him right now. He's like, Scott, don't. And he's like, no, I got a gun in my room, but we could do it together. We'll kill him. Bam, bam. And it's like, they're obviously making fun. It's parody of the spy thrillers where the villains are like, oh, I'm going to leave now and what, you're going to slowly like fall into acid by this rope. But of course they always get away. This is just kind of like, nope, he is not playing around. Spoilers coming up again. Click away if you don't want to be spoiled for episode 1. He blows up the town square, thousands of people die, and then just kills Hill. Like, and I put it in my thumbnail today. I love his smile when he looks at Fury as Fury when he shot her. Just this big old grin, villainous grin on his face, and it's just like, and I didn't kill you, right? Yeah, he's like, I didn't kill you. I killed someone you care about most in the world, and I'm not gonna kill you now. But hey, this is what I can do, and I'm not playing around. And I think it was just like, and that's why I think, as sad as it is, Hill should be dead. Because I don't want you to take away from that. One, take away from the villain, how serious he is. And two, take away from something that could probably drive Fury to be the best of the best. Deputy, I have one simple request, and that is to have sharks with frickin' laser beams attached to their frickin' heads. And if you guys haven't seen the Austin Power trilogy, y'all need to, because it's hilarious. Might be before some of y'all's time. Chris. But yeah, no, I think that was
good start.
I think it was a great start.
And I honestly don't know what's coming up beyond episode 2, which I've seen. But beyond that, I don't know what we're like in for. Like,
yeah,
I'm pretty excited about that too.
Yeah. People I don't know which episode's better, 1 or 2. I liked them both, but somebody asked a question in the chat a bit ago. I'm sorry, I don't remember who, but I think the story will get wrapped up here, but I think the Skrull being in the MCU are going to have an everlasting presence. Just because I can't.
I mean, surely
there's something. What?
I was gonna say, surely they've hinted at it enough already. Like the way the water settles is like coexistence, right?
Right. Well, basically, in the next episode, there's kind of some dialogue that kind of make you go, and they even make Fury go, like, holy crap! Like, basically you get a glimpse of how big of a threat the Skrull actually are, and I don't know how the whole story is gonna end by episode 6, but I would assume that there are just gonna be Skrull in the MCU forever. Right? Like,
yeah.
They might wrap up the story in this series and revisit it 7 years later, right? Who knows? And maybe it'll be like at the end, just a little teaser. It's like you think all the bad Skrull are dead or something like that, but then you find, little tease that one of them got away and is disguised as, like, I don't know, the president of wherever, different country or something like that. Who knows? But I like this a lot because I'm a big spy espionage fan, and I don't care if this has, little action in it. I think it's going to be pretty dang good. I do. I think it is definitely one of the better things to come from Marvel. Hey, Thanks, Bucky Barnes, Atlanta. Joe, we appreciate Warren. And let's get this a weekly thing if you got time. Wolf Wolf. Yeah, no, this is going to be... We're trying to do a weekly thing. I'll finish by saying we're doing the chat at this time because it's... I can't continue every time there's a new Disney Plus show to do a watch party. I obviously plan on doing this as long as I can, rest of my life. And if I have to go live at 3 a.m., 4 a.m. for Chris, you know, every single time,
and then do a breakdown,
and then do
after.
a full breakdown after, and go to bed at 7 a.m. each morning, which will just throws off my schedule so much, and just really messes with my mental strength, like my mental health. It's hard to recover from those days. So I think we're just gonna do a discussion the next day after now, you know. I think,
a little bit
and
more
I also
fun almost anyway because
right,
we've had time to ingest it a little.
Right, exactly, and more people get time to watch it at this point in time, and that is something people have said, like, oh, you know, I can't join the watch parties when it's that late at night, which obviously, yeah, I get it. It's hard for us to do.
Tuesday.
Right, on like a Tuesday night. It's like when, you know, people go to work the next day and stuff like that. So I think this is probably around like 4, 5, 6 p.m. Mountain time. That's the time zone I'm in. Mountain time. The following or the day of the show. That way people get enough time to watch it. I think that's what we're gonna do. Yeah. Did the Avengers ever find out that Coulson returned? Yeah, there was an episode of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. where Captain America was in it. So I'm assuming he told them. It is weird that he never popped up again in the MCU ever, right? It is kind of weird, but yeah. Yes, Proxima Century. I have a video planned on that, but I wanted to go live today to talk about this. So yeah, nice, Andrew Malert. I am big fan of the mountains out here. I live kind of at the base of a mountain, so it's pretty cool. But hey, all right, everybody, thank you all for joining. Chris is also live on Twitch right now. Chris, if you want to throw that in the chat. If you guys want to follow him, he goes live and talks about Marvel, DC, movies in general. He does that once a week as well. Go ahead.
A couple times a week right now.
You can follow him as well. If you're a fan of Marvel on the channel, be sure to subscribe. That's all we talk about here, Marvel and DC. And yeah, I appreciate everybody. We're gonna do this again next week. Today's Wednesday. Is today Wednesday or Tuesday?
I don't know.
It's Wednesday.
It's
right?
Wednesday. I don't know.
Gosh, see, this is what these shows do. This is why we're doing this during the day now, because
y'all should have seen it when we lived together and we did these, and like
we would go get McDonald's at 7 a.m. after we were done, and just
we get like burgers.
We would get it'd be crazy.
Oh,
but
no.
But yeah, I love the show so far. I really do. It wasn't like, this isn't anything like I felt with She-Hulk or any of the other recent shows that we've gotten lately. I'm pretty invested in this because I genuinely, one, don't know what's going to happen, and two, want to know what's going to happen.
Makes it exciting.
It does. You don't know who's a Skrull. Like, if someone dies, are they really dead? Like, there's a lot of mystery in this, and I'm really excited and looking forward to see how it turns out. So next Wednesday, I've tried to think again. Next Wednesday we'll be back. I'll try to put out like a community post, or like what do they call, like premieres, or like how you can set the time
like
basically in advance. So
I'll
try to put
that's a
that
good
out.
idea.
Yeah. So I'll try to put that out ahead so everybody knows what time it's going to be. But yeah, around 4, 5, 6 p.m. Mountain Time. That way people can get off work, or they can watch and listen on the way home or something like that. And everybody has enough time to digest the episode so we can have a good spoiler talk. So again, you guys can follow Chris on Twitch, and oh, thank you, Gabriel. I'll look into that next time. But yeah, you guys follow Chris, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We'll be putting out some more videos this week, of course. Try to do some Secret Invasion ones with some theories that we have, and we'll catch you guys next Wednesday, I would think, again. All right, thanks everybody.
Alrighty, y'all.
Woof woof.
Bye.